Hi, Libras. This is Carrie at wooingnature.life. Hope you all are well. This is the reading for September 2019. I hope that everything turns out great. I'm going to be reading today from James R. Eads, the Inner Visions Tarot. Inner Visions Tarot. You can't see it anyway, but anyway, it's a really, really great deck, and it's very responsive, so I decided that I would do my September readings from James R. Eads. I will be doing an art of the deck for this deck. It will be coming up pretty soon, as soon as I have the time to do it. It's been a busy time. It is Virgo season, Libras. Your season is coming up next. I know you will be excited about that, but Virgo season is a time for everybody to kind of get organized, get your stuff in order, make sure that things are where you need them to be. Let me see what else. If you want to know more about what's happening astrologically in September, you can become a member and become a patron on my Patreon account. I will leave that information for you if you want to do that. It is a weekly podcast, audio upload, whatever you want to call it, where you can hear about what's happening astrologically during the week. But it is a time for organization. I've been telling everybody that it's a time to kind of get your stuff in order, plan for the future, put some ducks in the row. Okay? All right, so we'll go ahead and get started with you all, Libra. Find out what's going on with our lovely Libras out there. Gotta love a Libra. Alright. Let's see what we got. Alright, Libras. This is the Six of Pentacles right off the bat. Six of Pentacles means that it's a time to share, a time to give, time for some reciprocity in your life. That means what you're giving out, you should get back. It shouldn't be one-sided. Okay? Just know that there is an abundance in the universe. I think you guys are very clear about that. Libras have a knack of being able to understand the right balance. You all are the scales. But just remember that there is abundance for everyone. Everybody gets a little piece. You too. We got the King of Pentacles in reverse here. What that is, we'll come back to it. We got the Seven of Wands in reverse, Three of Chalices. And then we got some sevens. We got a couple of sevens. I want to take a look at those first. We got a couple of sevens in reverse. Seven numbers represent spirituality. And in this case, we're talking about two different areas or two different humors or two different elements. The Suit of Swords is air. The Suit of Wands is fire. So you got air and fire going on. I don't need to tell you what happens when you put air to fire. It raises up the flames. Now that can be good for you, Libra, depending on what you're setting the fire to. Now, if you're setting the fire up under somebody's butt, you might want to be gentle about that. However, at the same time, if you're putting the fire under something that's, that's a plan or a project or something that's going to be positive, then that's great. What I'm getting here from the Seven of Swords is like, both of these are in reverse, so there's a couple of things going on. One, this is like taking the right steps and sometimes taking a risk. It's about taking the right steps, but sometimes you have to take a risk, okay? It seems like you're not taking enough risks. You may need to take more risks. You might want to make some riskier moves, okay? Seems like you guys are accustomed to making a safe choice, but now you got to depend on spirit. That's seven. Again, you got to depend on spirit now, okay? There's no guarantees in life. No guarantees, okay? And so since there are no guarantees, then why not just take a chance, right? Time to take a chance. Seven of Swords here. Looks like there's, I don't know, Libra, like what I'm getting right now, I'm going back to this reciprocity thing. Like I'm getting this thing about reciprocity, and I'm seeing that this guy here is like standing on like 5 pentacles, and then this one has one that's like you got to share a little. You got to be giving, you got to be sharing and that kind of thing. And the Seven of Swords, I don't get that. I'm not getting the sharing. What I'm getting is kind of like this hoarding or trying to keep everything to yourself or for yourself. That's really fear. It is not walking in an atmosphere of abundance. When you're walking in abundance, there is no need to hoard or to keep or to, and when I say hoard, it could be things, but it could also be like other things, like hoarding emotional stuff, or hoarding information, or whatever it is that you tend to collect and keep to yourself because you don't want anybody else to have it other than you. That's not an attitude of abundance, and it's not going to bring abundance to you. Okay, so you got to get out of that phase, and you got to take some chances too. All of this goes with this idea of reciprocity. And this reciprocity is not like, oh, if I give you this and you give this back to me. It's not that kind of reciprocity. This reciprocity is like understanding that the way that you give in the universe, in here, like internally, is how you get back. So like you can like give a whole lot of stuff, but if it's for like you got some kind of hidden agenda going on, which is what I'm kind of sensing here, is this hidden agenda going on, then it's not going to yield what you're looking for. That plus not taking the risk that you need to take, or having this idea that like I've got to do this because it's safe, that's the only way to do it. No, like the universe responds to us in the way that we are. I hope that makes sense. It responds to us the way that we are. Like sometimes we think that like we can talk a good game and that'll make it happen, or we can talk things into existence. Not always. The universe responds to us the way that we are. I mean, because you can say anything. Doesn't mean it's going to be accurate. Doesn't mean it's coming from a good place. Doesn't mean it's coming from a place of internal love. And so I feel like that's where you got to come from, is this internal love. And I think that's why we're getting the King of Pentacles. Like that was the second card that I pulled, and I was like, I don't understand that. But now I'm understanding it. This is stability. The King of Pentacles represents stability, represents safety. It also represents like having what it is that you need and being solid, being grounded. King of Pentacles energy is the masculine form of the earth. So it's like it has to have the house, it has to have the car, it has to have the money, it has to have the, all of the physical things that life has to offer. And there's nothing wrong with that. And being able to access that comes from a place of abundance. But the place of abundance inside of you is related to how you are, who you are, and the way that you give. And that's what you get back. That's really what the deal is on that. All right, so I've got a Three of Chalices here. That's gatherings. That's people coming together. That's coming together and operating in synchronicity with people. And I think, again, that kind of points back to this idea of giving, like on another level, on a basic one-to-one people level. You need to connect to people who are in synchronicity with you, who are moving in the same vein that you are, because that's going to give you the type of energy that you need to be able to sustain what it is that you're doing and what you're working on, okay? And what you're working toward. I keep these very general because for some people, for some clients, this is about relationships. For some clients, this is about work. Some of it is about internal communication. Sometimes you're robbing from yourself. Sometimes you can be actually taking from yourself. You know what I'm saying? Keeping yourself hoarded even. That can happen. All right, so we got the Six of Swords up next. The Six of Swords shows me some signs of transformation. It also means that there's a bridge that you're crossing. There's a path that you're trying to get over. There's a gap here that you're trying to cross, okay? And this gap, this space here is like, this is where you've been, this is where you're going. But what I love about this card, look at the wind blowing, and the wind is trying to push you over there. It's trying to get you to just go over to the other side. But if you're hanging out on this side and you don't like go with the flow and go with how the wind is blowing right now, you're going to end up stagnant on this side of the fence. But a lot of this again has to go, a lot of this goes back to your thinking and your modus operandi. Okay. All right, so this is the Ace of Chalices in reverse. This is perception as well. The universe is a never-ending fountain of whatever it is that you need. Water, which is represented by the chalices, is the most important element in human life. Without water, we can't last very long without this. So this is represents your life element. This is life, and it flows abundantly. It's constantly flowing up and out and down and up and out and down. It's constantly going. So you don't have to grab this and hold this to have it. Okay, you don't have to hold on here. It's gonna come back. It's gonna keep flowing. It's gonna keep flowing. So the idea is to get under the flood, not try to hold it. That's why we got this bridge going right here. This is the push. This is the push they're trying to make for you, Libra. You got to open up a little bit. I'm definitely getting that. And then with those 2 sevens, I think there's like this deeper spiritual thing going on with that. It's a deeper spiritual thing going on with your ability or inability to take risk. There is a deeper spiritual thing going on with you feeling like you need to like hold on to things or keep things to yourself. You need to do a little deeper dive there. If you want to do a deeper dive, then let me know. Please let me know about that. And we'll take a look here and see if there's more to it than that. All right. So definitely messages about abundance, but like how to get to it. It's about how to get to it. I just think you're thinking about it and slightly off, like slightly imbalanced. Is there anything else that Libra needs to know in relationship to this reading in September? High Priestess, didn't I tell you it was something spiritual? You got to connect to your spirit self. Your spirit self is connected to the universe. The universe is connected to all that is. All that is equals abundance. I know, like when we think about abundance, we always think about money. I'm not just talking about money, because money is just a representation of abundance. It's not abundance itself. When you connect to your abundance, when you connect to abundance, then abundance will just be there. Again, the universe responds to us the way that we are. So if we're operating on 25% of belief in abundance, then you're going to get 25% of the abundance that exists for you. For you. If you operating on 3%, do the math. So what you have to do is have a complete understanding of abundance so that you can call to you what it is that you need, when it is that you need it. And it's not about hoarding and taking and keeping and greedy. It's not about that at all. It's not about doing the thing that's absolutely safe. It's about knowing that whatever it is that you do is safe because you are a part of the abundant and giving nature of the universe. That God is not going to leave you by yourself. That He is not going to have you be without. Okay? There's just too much. Like, there's so many things. And then, that's why we get frustrated. We're like, okay, how come everybody else gets everything? Or like, how come these people have all this money and other people just don't have any money? Well, it really doesn't matter, to be honest with you, because abundance reigns within. All right, so we got judgment here. Judgment means it's time to go through that door. There we go again. It's time to walk through. It's time to walk through the door now. It's time to go through that door. That time or that phase of your life is ending, and it's time for you to make a shift and to make the leap. You got to make the leap. Here's the leaps. Got to make a leap. There it is. It's right there. So here we have the door. I love this Judgment card because it shows like the door is opening. All you have to do is walk through it. Or you could just let stuff come on in, which is fine. You can let things come in, but you know, some leaves in here and some dirt in here. You don't, you know. It's time to make the move. It's time to make the shift. It's that time. Get connected with your spiritual self, Libras. You all got to get connected with your spiritual selves. You're a lot in the physical realm. And you're also a lot in your head. We got swords. We got swords. We got some love here. We got some emotional things here. Not as much as we have of the other stuff. We got some emotional stuff, but look at where it exists. It exists with the people that you're around, and it exists with the understanding that life has a never-ending supply of what it is that you need. So it's really about changing your perception. Look at here. Didn't I tell you? 4 of Pentacles, holding on, trying to control, trying to keep everything to yourself. It's not that time. We are not operating in that season anymore. All of that is changing with Pluto and with Saturn. You can find out more about that on some of my astrological readings, or with some of the astrological stuff. Some of the readings that deal more with astrology. There's Pluto and there's Saturn, and they are literally changing the paradigm for all of us in the universe right now. And guess what? Former rules are not going to apply. The way that we have been doing things has not been working for all of us. It's not been working even for the people that you think it's working for. It's not. And so the universe is literally responding right now, and is literally in synchronicity with this change. And this change is going to bring about a whole new way of operating. Hopefully more out of love, an abundant nature of love. Hopefully more out of a energy of reciprocity. Okay? Rather than us just, you know, focusing on our ego-driven operations. It's just not going to happen. Is there anything else that Libra needs to know for September? So during the month of September, Libras, I want you to take some steps toward your goal, right? But I want those steps to be internal for you. So the way that you're going to get to what you want to get to is by going in and realizing the ways, the abundant ways of the universe, connecting to abundance from inside and what that really means, and then see what happens. You're going to see it's going to be much better. Things are going to be much better. Yep. We've got Pentacles, 2 of Pentacles in reverse. For a Libra, you know, you don't like being off. It doesn't feel good to you either. And you know that. You know it's off, and you know it doesn't feel good to you. And so now it's your work to change that paradigm for yourself. And ultimately, it's definitely going to change what's coming to you. And I'm getting for Libra that this is more or less about your work. It's about projects that you have on your plate. It's a vision of how you want your life to be. There's like a way, something that you want in your life, and you're really determined to have it. And that's great, because that determination is going to get you a long way. Hold on one second. That determination is going to get you very far. That determination counts. Like, it doesn't count against you for you to be determined that you're going to do what you want to do, or that the thing that you want to do. That's not it. That's just being focused. That's fine. But the thing that's hanging you up, what's hanging you up is this right here. What's hanging you up is these things right here. This is what's hanging you up. Okay? It's just in your thinking. It's just a way for you to get past your thinking. You got to get beyond the thinking. We've got the Hangman in reverse that came up. Again, letting go, releasing, letting go. Letting go and releasing. And then we also have the Queen of Chalices in reverse. Queen of Chalices is the feminine side of the emotions, which allows us to get to that place within us that has compassion and empathy, where we're operating, again, not from the ego side, but from that altruistic side. And if you've been feeling, Libra, like you've been doing that and you're frustrated with that, then it's probably, again, it goes back to your thinking about it. Okay? Because giving is free. Giving is something you do freely. Okay? And so it gives you back a free feeling. So if you think you're giving and it doesn't feel like it's freeing to you, then it's really not giving at all. It's something else. And I guarantee you it has to do with, like, you know, the way that you're thinking about it. It really is. And it's also connected to how you view yourself in context with the universe and the abundance in the universe. All abundance lessons, great abundance lessons. There's the Page of Wands telling you to take off and let the spirit move you. Back to spirituality, connecting to your spiritual self, connecting to the feminine, the inner feminine, that feminine nature inside of you. Okay, and that's whether you're man or woman, doesn't matter. Anything else for Libras, please, for September? Anything else for Libras for September? No, I don't have anything else for Libras for September. Libras, I think this is a really interesting time for you. I think that this walking through this door is really going to be important to you. I think that you're going to come right to it as soon as you give yourself an opportunity to kind of get still and get your head wrapped around this information. There's a lot of powerful information here, not just for Libras, but for other people who are trying to access their abundance outside of themselves. So, you know, everybody wants to have to be able to do what they want to do and have lots of things and go on vacations and wear nice clothes and drive nice cars. Everybody wants that. But you really have to access that place inside of you that represents that. And so it's a lot of great information here for you, Libra. It's a lot to chew on. If you need to go a little deeper, reach out to me. I'm at Kerri, Kerri, at wooingnature.life. You guys check me out on Facebook. If you want to like the Facebook line, you can do that. If you want to reach out on Instagram, we're also on Tumblr and also on Twitter. Plenty of ways to connect. Check out the YouTube channel as you're doing now. You can come back here in another week or so and I will be posting the moon view for the month of September. I believe we're coming up on the full moon in September. Okay? All right. I hope you all have a great September. I hope you're having a wonderful day. And as always, have a great life.